I think I'm getting used to being 30.
In all of 48 hours.
It took 48 hours, but I think I'm getting used to it. My mind is working pretty good. My body is starting to already my back hurts. But then again, we just host a really dope event where we're on my feet for literally all day, run up and down the hill. So that's like probably
16-hour day.
For sure, 16-hour day. But today I want to talk about, Queen, the balance of hustling, grinding, achieving your dreams, no matter what, team no sleep, all that, versus looking at versus like self-care, pacing, and really running the marathon. Because I think I'm getting to an age where I'm not a sprinter anymore. I'm a jogger. And I can jog for literally an hour. I can sprint. You got like 10 seconds. Yeah. And then I'm hurt after that. But I feel like in entrepreneurship, we need to also start making that shift into not sprinting, but jogging.
Right.
All right.
I just want to say that I'm happy to hear you make that shift.
Yeah, Queen.
Yes. You were sprinting for a while, getting worried that you were just going to burn out one day.
Listen, we're going to talk about it. Yes. The sprinting, I think there was a season in life for sprinting, and then there's a season in life for jogging. And I think we're getting to that season of where I can slow down a little bit, take a puff of my inhaler, and then jog.
Yeah.
Right. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. Over 50% of Black Americans are unmarried, and only 2% of Black families in America have a net worth over $1 million.
We are on our journey to not only join that 2%, but grow that 2%.
Facts. I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. You can go to our website at them4show.com, our Instagram at them4show, and our YouTube channel at Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making.
And welcome to the M4 Show. Welcome back, beautiful people, to the Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making show. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And of course, I'm joined, as usual, by my beautiful, my smiling, my natural, delicious tea making, party planning. Yes, it is Queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What is up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. And Devon, I think that we should come up with like a cool M4 hand thing, because it could be like M4. Welcome to the M4 show.
Yeah, how y'all feel about that? The M4
or like M4. What y'all think, tribe? Which one can you get down with?
But yeah, definitely we got the handshake down pat. Sinclair, shake my hand. Please stop. Please stop with whatever.
I'm workshopping over here.
No. But so today we're talking about balance and hustle, achieving your dreams, but doing it in a healthy way. But I want to first start off by celebrating our big accomplishment, Queen. We did a big heavy lift. Shout out to the entire team for the heavy lift. Shout out to UCLA for the partnership. Shout out to our high schools, Thomas Jefferson High School, Maya Angelou High School, and of course, Fauché Learning Center. But we just hosted the first ever Leaders Innovating Tomorrow pitch competition at UCLA. I don't think that.
Come on.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. But when you click it, and we have a roadcaster here for our podcast, folks, and there's a whole bunch of buttons that do audio, but I don't think audio goes from there inside. Y'all let us know if y'all heard that. Go ahead, click it one more time. Let us know in the comments. Did y'all hear that? Boom. But I'm pretty sure I've listened back on other episodes and it's never in there.
That's unfortunate.
But we sometimes click it.
Yeah.
But getting back to it, y'all. We've been manifesting and thinking about hosting this pitch competition since 2020, 2021. Which one are you thinking? I know pitch competition has been on the vision map
right.
for Play
Even
Black Wall
Street.
right, since 2019. Like we've
Yeah.
always wanted to do a pitch competition, always wanted to have an incubator where businesses can come to us and we help them build out their business. And that's kind of what Launch It is in a some sense. But when we first started Leaders Innovating Tomorrow, we're like, it would be so good if we can do at the end a pitch competition and have all the students, but y'all know, COVID.
Yeah. So like the first go around, we wanted to do that. And not only, timing got in the way of just like not having enough time to get everybody ready for the presentations, but also, COVID, just not being able to have large events. So that was a damper. But
Yeah.
I think it allowed us to really focus on the program the first time around. And now that we got that pretty much nailed down, now this go around, we got to put a little bit more focus on like, okay, what is the culminating event at the end of this program? How do we bring this all together and make it like really exciting for the kids?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And to give y'all a sense of the program and the culminating event. So we're at 3 different schools, 4 different classes. Week 1, they identify a problem within their community, right? And Sinclair, I'm gonna ask you a question on what problem you would solve within your community. I think I know the answer, but go ahead and think about that. For us and for Play Black Wall Street, the problem was financial literacy. The problem is access to Black studies and knowing about Tulsa's Black Wall Street. So we go through 12 weeks, and at the end, the students have a business model or a business idea that solves that problem. So students came up with, solving homelessness, mental health for girls with anxiety and depression in high school, mental health for students, period, trying to reduce fights in high school. We had police brutality. Several groups were doing that. We had water quality, air pollution, like just craziness, right?
Right.
These are high school students that are literally identifying world society problems that they think that they can fix through entrepreneurship or through a nonprofit. And then we ended literally yesterday
Yep.
with over 150 or for sure over 140. I'm not, it was like maybe 147. I don't want y'all counting on me, all right? But over 140 scholars at UCLA. 6 groups got up on stage with their presentations, with their microphone, pitched their presentation to folks. We have our judges, Sinclair, Amanda, Markel, Kayla, and at the end, we can say the winner now. It's over.
Right. It is.
At the end, CBM Construction. They're a construction company that also helps undocumented workers get visas. So just they took first place. Brothers Moving Forward took second place. Looking at it was close by 3 points.
Oh, so close.
About 3 points. But Brothers Moving Forward took second place, focusing on police brutality and trying to reduce the rates of police brutality by creating reflective and night proof or visible in the
high
dark.
visibility.
Boom. Come on with the words. High visibility streetwear and water bottles. And then third place was Lydios, which was a air pollution company working to reduce the air pollution by having accessible public scooters, bikes that aren't only electric, but also you can ride them and use your physical power and charge them and get paid by charging them. So dope ideas. Definitely hope the students like follow through and maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, start these businesses. But Sinclair, for you,
Yes.
what problem would you want to solve?
I would want to solve the problem of the Black population being at the top, and even more specifically, Black women, which I just heard on a podcast I was listening the other day, being on the top of almost all health disparities that we look at at least in the US. So if we look at like heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, like Black folks are at the top of the, like if you look at the breakdown of the demographics of percentages of people suffering from those health disparities, Black people are always at the top. And Black women make a very large portion of that as well. So that would be the problem that I'm trying to solve, is to reduce just the rates of our people that are suffering from these health disparities, because we don't have a lot of resources and research done specifically for us. Right, most of the research, most of the medical, at least the Western medical pull me out if I go too deep.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the Western medical system is built off of research that was done by white men, and it's just kind of considered like a blanket, and then they just use that for everybody.
I think the interesting thing is research is done on us, but research isn't done for us, right? When we think about the Tuskegee Airmen, when we think about the syphilis research project that was done, we think about Henrietta Lacks, who was a Black woman. Like there's lots of research that's done on us, and then it's used for other people.
Right. We're used as a tool in that sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm gonna ask you a follow-up question. And these are questions that we ask to our students. And if you're listening, these are questions that I think you should also answer, right? In entrepreneurship, I think entrepreneurship is problem solving. Point blank, period. So thinking about what problem are you passionate about solving, right? The queen, passionate about health. We got our nice healthy teas over here. She's making sure I'm taking my supplements. I know I'm about to live a nice, long, healthy life. I appreciate you. Me, financial literacy, Black studies, right? So for you, what is the problem that you or your family wants to solve? Step number 2, your unique value proposition. What makes you uniquely positioned to solve that problem? And how will you solve it in a different way because you're you? Right. So people all the time think about, oh, Black Wall Street, the board game. I never would have thought of that. That was such a great idea. The reason why I was able to come up with that idea is because, one, I love games. I'm a nerd. Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblades, all those games. I grew up at my family reunions, dominoes, Monopoly, spades. Wow. Yeah, you know how my family gets down.
Yeah, I know. It's a little intimidating.
Look, they don't play. Grandy don't play. You studied long, you studied wrong.
That's when I was done with dominoes with your family.
Over there counting. What you counting for? Oh, my family get into it. But that was my unique perspective going into trying to solve the problem of financial literacy and education of Black Wall Street, right? So for you, you have a unique perspective, Queen. You have a unique perspective as all of what is you, and you're going to be able to solve this problem differently. What would you categorize your UVP as?
So I have 3 that I thought of in terms of like, these are things about me that I think makes me uniquely to able to solve this problem or help and contribute to solving this problem. So one, I think, is my chefing abilities.
Yeah, you got that.
You know, because I do believe still in food tasting good, but I do believe that you should still enjoy and really nourish your body with good ingredients and be able to eat healthy and still have it taste good. Because I feel like that's a lot of the what hesitation that people make when trying to eat healthy is like, oh, but I don't want to eat bland chicken. You don't have to. So yeah, I think that is one thing, as well as my dancing abilities, because I feel like dance is something that, especially in our culture, it is ingrained. And we don't always think about that as like exercise and a way to stay healthy, but I think it can absolutely be a tool, not only get the body moving, but for emotional health and just a time to relax and be stress-free.
Yeah.
And then also kind of my analytical mind that likes to look at data, because I do think that some of the resources that we may have available now, they are still kind of blanket systems, everybody should do this, everybody should eat this way. And I do believe in taking a very individualized approach. Yes, I want to help the African diaspora, Black folks, but we still have a lot of individuality, bio-individuality, right? Different lifestyles that we're all trying to lead. So I would love to utilize lab testing in my research and in my practice and in my health coaching certification. Like I want to be able to use that so that we can really get like individual data and help individual people with really use the word again, individualized approaches to helping them.
How many times did she just say individual? Y'all
At least
count that up. That's good. And kind of tying back into the pitch competition that we just hosted and unique value propositions. We had a dance battle at our pitch competition.
Ooh, they was getting down.
They were getting all the way down. And I feel like that's stuff that you don't necessarily assume is going to be at a pitch competition.
Right.
I feel like that's what's making Play Black Wall Street, the lit program, unique, is we are bringing in aspects of our identity, aspects of Black culture into entrepreneurship and business to make it fun.
Yes.
So that while they're sitting there thinking about the problems that they're solving, the business models, customer acquisitions, customer avatar, they're also able to get up on stage and hit the, I don't know what these moves are called anymore. You know, what are these dance moves,
I don't
Sinclair?
know either. I just know I see them sometimes, but they were all excited.
They
She
were,
said,
hey,
and then they got up and did the same dance. I said, okay, that's one of the TikToks. One of the TikToks.
Oh yeah. The Get Sturdy, was that the Get Sturdy?
Oh yeah, that's the one where they were going down and
hey, it was a lot. But again, unique value proposition. How does Play Black Wall Street uniquely increase financial literacy? So hopefully y'all are able to think about that. But I want to get us back to the topic. And the topic was kind of being in hustle mode.
Mhm.
And this year has been one heck of a year. And it's only February.
Literally.
It's only February. But we sat down, we said these are our goals, income goals, partnership goals, real estate investment goals. And I think we've been really focused. I know I've been waking up almost every day, probably like 90% at 4:50 a.m. I'll do my workouts, my stretching, and then I'll get straight to work right there in the morning. And we're in I think, transition period where I'm trying to hustle a little bit less and work smarter. And we're gonna get to the signs of being tired. But for you, Sinclair, when do you think it is hustle time? Right? When in life, or when in a business life cycle, is it time to really put your head down, grind? You may lose a little bit of sleep, you may not be going to some social stuff, and you are in the grind. When is that season?
I feel like it's definitely going to vary person to person, but I think in general it is a season, um like how can I explain this? So I feel like you have like your milestone moments, right? You get married, you have children, you start the business, you quit your job, you like these very big moments. I feel like those moments, sometimes those are in my opinion, sometimes the moments to slow down and really enjoy those moments. However, I think there are kind of those transition periods where it's like, okay, we don't actively have a big thing happening right now, or next year is going to be a big year for this, a big year for us. This year is kind of that transition year of maybe preparing for that. Like to me, that transition period is a grind time. Yeah, so I mean, it's hard for me to say like blanketly, like when is it a time to grind, and when is it a time to kind of focus on the balance. But I do think that if you are in a period of your life where you have the time and resources to grind, take advantage of that, because I feel like it's hard to come about that in those very busy times of your life. So for us, right, we don't have children as of now, but we do plan to in the future.
Yes, we do.
So that's going to be a very big milestone moment for us, but we're not there yet. So we're using this time that, before that to grind, because we know that once that time comes, that's going to take priority. Yeah. And so that's not necessarily going to be a time to like grind, especially not those first couple months, right? And we'll get back to the grinding at some point, but I think we need to prepare for that moment by really getting a lot of stuff done now, a lot of the boxes checked now.
Exactly. And to your point, I made this, I don't know if I said this out loud to you, Queen, but in 2021, my financial goal, which I guess it did happen, my financial goal was to be financially ready for a child. By the end of 2021, I wanted to be financially ready for a child. So I was in 100% grind, hustle mode to make this money happen, so that primarily you can leave your job. That did happen. You were able to leave your job. 2022, I was like, okay, yes, technically she did leave her job, but we want a certain lifestyle that we want to live. So we need to really grind. Let's change our business model up. Let's do some different things, because not only do we need income to support us, but we need income to still be able to travel, still be able to do the nice bougie things, right? You gotta live that M4 lifestyle. Melanated Married Millionaires in the, oh, there go the signs. Oh, I'm sorry I did that, y'all. It's the face. But really being able to monetize what we're doing better and again have that extra income for a lifestyle,
Mhm.
which I think 2022 we made huge strides in, and 2023 we're starting to see some of that, those flowers bloom,
Yes.
right? Now 2023, right? 2021, 2022, hustle years, grind years, do the work. We're building, laying that strong foundation. Let's do it. 2023 for me, I see as a year where I want to prepare us to have the time to have kids.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, like, we're trying to systematize a lot of the things that we're doing. We're trying to take a step back for a
Mhm.
lot of things that we're doing so that things can run on autopilot, whether it's things that are shipping out, like our games, shirts that are shipping out, courses that are able to be automatically run, even the lit program, being able to train other faculty and other mentors to be able to run it. And that way I don't got to be at all the schools,
Right.
is what we're trying to do, so that when this beautiful, amazing seed comes up, Simba or Nala, it's gonna be so fun. But I think if you're not prepared to get out of hustle mode before that kid comes, then things can just take a huge dip,
Yeah.
right? If all of a sudden we have these 5 lit schools that I'm teaching at, then we have a kid, either the lit schools are going to go down or I'm not going to be there for my child, and
Right.
either one is it's a loss.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that's the mode that I'm transitioning in for 2023 is,
Mhm.
let's grow, but let's grow strategically so that the growth and the income of the business isn't dependent on our presence.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that, and that was a huge, I think, mindset shift is I feel like at first it was like, okay, let's create the curriculum. Let's get in these schools. Let's like vet out the process, vet out the
Mhm.
curriculum. But we've done that now, right? You've been physically present at every single session, being the main facilitator. We know that works.
Mhm.
But now, yes, how can we to be able to really scale? He cannot be at every single session, right? We cannot be at every school
There's
in
only 2 of me.
I'm sorry.
You're You didn't know that? Yeah,
I was not
there's
aware.
definitely 2 of me.
That's how you keep this grind, huh? You
Mhm.
just switch out your models?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Don't go in the storage closet.
Okay.
In the closet, there's a door. If you go in there, it goes to the attic. I'm charging back there.
Not I'm charging.
I'm charging.
But yeah, I think the next step for us, and this is, I mean, a natural progression, I think, for most businesses, is you get to the point where, okay, we're making money, but it's all dependent on me doing the work,
Right.
right? Whereas I think the next step is, okay, how can I scale it so that the money still comes in, but I don't have to physically be there for it to come in?
So I think, sorry, not to cut you off, Queen.
You're good. I was done.
I think for some reason, and I don't know if this is a Black entrepreneur thing or if this is just small businesses, period, right? But we start off as sole proprietors, and that's us doing the work, right? The business and the person are the same thing. We have the one bank account. People are coming to our house, getting the haircut, the braids, whatever it is. It's we are the business. We elevate to a LLC to reduce the liability, to get more of the tax write-offs, but we still operate with the sole proprietor mindset. Like,
Yeah.
it's still me, it's my business, I'm doing it. I feel like we need to learn how to elevate to LLC or elevate to the S corp corporation, whatever business structure is right for you. This is a disclaimer. We don't know how to do it. But to learn how to remove yourself,
Mhm.
add processes and add people to the business so that it can scale.
Yeah.
And I think me and Granny were talking about this last night for one of the her favorite soul food spots around here, right?
Mhm.
It's one person
Mhm.
that runs the entire restaurant. They know all the recipes. If they're sick, the restaurant's closed. Um, they can only take so many orders per day because they're cooking literally everything. So it's like, that's not a scalable
Right.
business model. And I think one of the things that I want to try to help people do is, how do you write down the SOPs? How do you create structure? And then how do you hire the right people?
Yeah.
And I think we've been blessed to hire some really good people within our company. We've had to have some serious conversations with people at times when it wasn't operating at what we held to be the high standards of M4 or Playback Wall Street. And we had to really be like, all right, y'all, this is what we're doing. This is what we're building. And we need y'all to operate here when you are working with the company. If you can't do that, no disrespect, but we might have to go ahead and part ways. But
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. And yeah, you gotta have those uncomfortable conversations in order to grow. And I think if we didn't have those types of conversations early with some of our team members, I don't know if we would have had the successful lit pitch competition or even the program that we have today. Like the whole energy shifted after some of those conversations.
Yeah. And I think that part of the hesitation, I think, for folks making that transition from like being the business to kind of scaling and training someone else is one, trust, and two, the effort, the time and
It's
effort
so much effort
that goes into training somebody to be another you, basically. That it does take a lot of upfront work. And it is also risky because you don't know if that person's going to stick around. You don't know, right? There's no, you can't hold them to their job, right? You just hope that you have created the environment and the opportunity where they thrive and they can thrive and they see a future for themselves. So it's a give and take. It's a partnership between you and that person. But I think it does take a level of just time and effort of like, okay, rather than doing it myself, and this is something I struggle with, like rather than sitting and doing it myself, which I know will be easier, faster, and more efficient, how can I sit down and write each step of what I do while I'm doing it so that I can teach somebody else to do it? And yeah, it is very taxing, especially if you are still that main person doing it, right? So old girl at the restaurant, she still has to wake up and cook every day. So it might be hard for her to have the time and energy to also sit down and write the recipes or find another chef. But I think that that again, we're talking about the grind mode, that hustle mode, that temporary period of maybe a month where she like stays a couple hours afterwards and writes those recipes down, hire somebody, right? Has those check-ins with them. I think in the long run,
for sure,
will save her so much time because again, she can get the cold and be able to stay home for a week without needing to shut down her business. She can go on vacation, right, and still be able to have a running business. So I think it's a worthwhile sacrifice.
For sure, for sure. So definitely, y'all, standard operating procedures, the things that you are doing for your business, write them down and figure out when you can afford to train someone else to do that job. For example, these podcasts, right? When we first started doing these podcasts, I was doing all the editing, all the audio editing, the video editing, all that, and it took a lot of time. But then Jair joined the team. We wrote out the standard operating procedures. This is what we want the videos to look like. We want these 3 different videos. This is what we want the audio to look like. Place to add here, place to add there. Boom, here's the documentation. And now we can be at brunch. We can be traveling. We're going to be traveling all of March. And I don't need to worry about editing a single video during that entire time because Jair is going to take care of it.
Yep.
Right. So just, write it down. Write it down. But I want to get a little bit back to the pitch competition, right? If anybody's watching, y'all got questions, comments, definitely make sure y'all leave some live comments in the Facebook or YouTube chat. But the event went surprisingly smooth and beautiful. And we were talking about this the other day on how like, oh, this is our first event and it went flawless. And, usually for people's first event, it goes terrible. But then we had to do a little bit of self-reflection and be like, actually,
it's not our first event.
This is nowhere close to our first event. This is like our first Play Black Wall Street official event, but we've been hosting events for years. And we both hosted flop events.
I mean,
flop events at first. But it was definitely a great feeling to be on that stage with all the students there, everyone having a good time, getting the positive affirmations, had the DJ doing his thing, had Markel on stage throwing out rare stuff. Like it was a dope event, but that event was a result of a couple L's that we've taken. So before we go to our first break, Queen, I want to talk about one of my L's for conferences, the first one, and then you could talk about one of yours, or you want to flip. You want to go first and talk about your kitty cat thing.
No, I don't care. I can go first.
Okay, hit it.
So for me, I actually love planning events. But I have gotten better over the years of planning events. My flop is an event that we called the Cat's Meow. And that was with my sorors at Davis. We were planning an event that was supposed to be like a 1920s themed, like almost we were trying to get like a speakeasy vibe. Like
I don't know why your voice changed to be like this.
Shut up.
Are speakeasies creepy like that?
I don't know. But yeah, just a 1920s themed like dinner and little party type of thing. And yeah, we had, I think, maybe 4 people. It was all of our fraternity brothers. That was it. And even there, we planned it during like, I don't.
It was during a fight. It was the Mayweather Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that fight? Floyd, Money, Mayweather, and Pacquiao. And we came to the event, but the fight was on. So we were like, yeah, we're not gonna miss this fight. We're sorry. They got real bad at us, y'all. It was a whole thing.
It was. But right, one of the things we didn't do is look at what else was happening on that date. Didn't think about it. I know now that's like the first thing to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was one of the things. But I think even then, like if you plan a worthwhile event, people will miss it if it's worth it. And we didn't plan a worthwhile event. I think there was a disconnect of like, what is this event? Actually, I had a lot of people leading up to it that were like, what is this again? What exactly? Like, what am I going for? Like, and so I think there was also a disconnect of like, what is the value of this event aside from just a cool themed dinner? It sounded cool, but I think there was, that disconnect of like, why would I actually choose to go to this? And especially over a huge fight, a huge momentous fight.
Poor communication of the value proposition.
Yeah.
Right. Which is in the top 5 reasons, according to Forbes, why most businesses or apparently events may fail. Right? Anything else on Catch Me Out? Any other lessons that you learned from that? So 1 is check the calendar, what other events are happening during that time. 2 is make sure in your marketing, whether it's a website, flyer, you're communicating, this is why you want to come. It's going to be so fun. We're going to have performances. We're going to have the live streaming of the boxing match that's happening also on that day in the corner with the Sigmas. We're going to have food. Look at that. What other lessons do you learn from that?
Those are the main ones.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, also had an incredible flop. This is also during college, right? So this is 2013. All right. I'm working for the African Diaspora Cultivating Education at UC Davis. It's a outreach program, and I'm one of the directors of outreach for high school. And I'm hosting my first conference. Right. And this is a conference that ACE has been doing for at least 5 years at that point. Right. So it wasn't a new conference. The students were used to it. The high schools were used to it. I created the flyers. We had the room set up. We had our volunteers, all of that stuff. But we hosted the event. The bus driver, arrived to the first bus or for the first high school location. There's like 1 student there. All right, they went. There's like 3 different high schools. They went around to all the high schools, and at the end of the day, there was like maybe 6, 7 students total that came to this multiple day conference, and there's supposed to be a solid 100. So automatically, I'm like, I failed. This was terrible. And what I definitely didn't do was I didn't do a good job at following up with the coordinators at the schools to make sure they had students signed up. All right. I didn't make sure that we sent multiple emails reminding them and the students, which we did in the LIT program, like 4 weeks open. This is the date. Don't miss it. This is the date. Right. Don't miss it. Multiple meetings with principals and multiple meetings with teachers, making sure that they knew when the date was and to get the students corralled for it. Now we ended up, completely switching up the agenda, made it a very intimate experience for those 7 students. And I think they still ended up having a pretty good time, and they got a lot of information and game. But at the end of the day, like as an event, for the amount of funding that went into it, for the amount of effort that went into it, it was a complete flop. But it was the last flop. Yeah. It was the last. Exactly. So yeah, I feel like sometimes you see people host dope events, or maybe you've hosted dope events, but you forget that long trail, right? The 7 years, 8 years of experience that led up to it. And so it's all good to take a L. It's all good to take a loss or a lesson, as long as you make sure that's the last one.
Because think about it, if you hadn't have had the flop then, or if I wouldn't have the flop there, with the Cat's Meow, then we would have been learning all of those lessons with this conference.
Right.
And we, for our own business, we don't want that, right? For the amount of time and effort we put into it, to have 5 students shown up would have been heartbreaking. So I feel like that was all preparation to get us here for this moment, where we had a room full of people, right? The volunteers there, the agenda on lock, of always room for opportunity for improvement, but for this to be the baseline of the first event, and it should only get better from here.
Yep.
It's a great start.
If you reserve a room and you get tables, should those tables come with tablecloths automatically?
Look,
Talk to me.
look,
I just,
UCLA, I
I
do
just,
appreciate all of the work and the partnership here,
100%.
but y'all ghetto.
Listen, and I don't want to do a blanket statement. All right. First off, I don't know whose wife that is, but but admissions and 3CP, right? So Alex, Annie, Alfred, lot of love. Y'all did your part 100%. It was the UCLA housing department or UCLA catering, so whoever reserved the space.
Mhm.
If you have round tables, I just think it's customary, appropriate, beautiful, appreciated to have those tables come with tablecloths. And if they do not come with tablecloths, communicate that they don't come with tablecloths and that it will be an extra surcharge. That's it. We would have paid the extra $200, $300 to have tablecloths. Long story short, the next event that we host, right, which will be in May or June, we'll definitely have tablecloths,
Especially,
centerpieces.
yeah, especially because they weren't new tables.
They weren't. They were. There were stains on the table. Yeah, that hurt my heart at first. But I don't. I feel like once everyone was in there, it was like you didn't really notice the tables anymore.
I didn't think about it again after that.
Right.
But it was like, come on.
Yeah, come on. But again, room for improvement. It was a great first lit pitch competition. We look forward to hosting students not next year, in May and June at another location, maybe the same location, but a location with tablecloths.
Period.
All right. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about signs that you might be tired.
Mhm.
Right? Some signs from your body, from your mind, from family members that maybe it's time for you to take a little bit of a break. All right, we're gonna get back to the episode in a second, but breathe. If you've ever had a brilliant idea, I'm pretty sure everybody just took a breath right there, right? Because we all have amazing ideas. But I got a question for you. What's stopping you from taking that idea and actually making it into a business, actually executing on your brilliance? My name is Devon Truvel, and in 2018, I was able to create, market, and sell my own product while still working a 9 to 5. And through the years, I've taken the lessons we've learned, the expensive webinars that I've gone to, and the dozens of business books that I've read, and I've discovered 7 simple steps to launch your business. If you're ready to take your business idea to the next level and make it real and start making profit from your passion, head to www.launchitcommunity.com and grab yourself the book. We've been able to make it very simple, affordable, and easier than ever to start that business while still working your 9 to 5. And we take entrepreneurs every single Friday and we talk to them. We teach them about how to use social media. We teach them about how to set up their Instagram account, how to use Shopify, how to use Printful and other tools that can help you take your business to the next level, but not take tons of time away from your 9 to 5 and your busy life that you already have. So if you're ready to take that idea to the next level, make sure you head to www.launchitcommunity.com, get yourself a book, and join our free accountability calls. Now, let's get back to the episode. Those signs, thank you, beautiful queen.
Mm-hmm.
Signs that you are tired and you might need to take a break. I'll go first. Then, if you have any signs, let's go one for one. For me, a sign that I'm tired and need to take it is for sure like my eyes start hurting, whether like they're dry or they have like a little ache. And this comes from when I'm looking at a computer screen for a long period of time. I'm typing, I'm editing something, I'm writing a proposal, watching YouTube videos, whatever I'm doing. But at the end of the day, like, my eye will just be like, oh goodness, and they're hard to stay open, and they'll be all watery and stuff. That's for me. That's when I know, okay, Devon, it's time to unplug, go for a walk, go outside, stretch, maybe go to the gym, do something where you're not in front of a computer screen. Because unfortunately, working, I'm in front of a computer screen. 9 to 5, I'm in front of a computer screen. And then entertainment, I'm in front of a computer screen. So it's like, unless I do something that's physical or nature bound, I'm always going to be on the phone or in front of a computer.
And you don't like to wear your blue blockers. So.
And I need some better blue blockers. Yeah, I need to get new ones. They got like scratch marks on it now. So it's like I can't see clearly through them. So I just need to get some new ones.
Agreed. A sign for me is I start to have not good sleep.
Mm.
Um, when I'm, and I guess that's more of a sign of like if I'm stressed, because for me, my stress looks like just thinking about whatever I'm stressed about 24/7.
Mm.
And it becomes much harder for me to turn that off at night when I'm in those stressful time periods. When we got like the lit pitch competition, like, yeah, 2 nights before that, there was maybe 7 hours in total of actual sleep being
Mm.
had. But yeah, it was just because my mind is just going with all the stuff. We've had a very busy like weekend. So with everything going on, it is very hard for me to turn my brain off. And it's like I know all the tools. I sat there, I did breathing for like 20 minutes, and then after that, I'm just like, I go right back to thinking what I was thinking about before.
Mm.
So it's just I just notice when I'm in those time periods where there's a lot to do, we got a lot at stake. It is so hard for me to turn. I mean, I'm not say turn the brain off, but even to have control of my thoughts. I
Mm.
start to lose that control and just things start just popping in my mind. It was a very frustrating night of sleep the other night.
Yeah. Sorry, Queen.
But yeah, that's one of the signs that I'm one tired, because of course then it's a domino effect. If I'm not sleeping, then I wake up bags under my eyes. But I'm also, again, the mind's still racing, so it's not like I'm tired and I can go to sleep.
Mm.
I'm tired and I still can't sleep. It's a terrible rat race.
See what's another one for me. I think I'm trying to say something that's different because that's also one for me where thoughts will just keep coming.
Mhm.
And for me, I mean, doing the to-do list for sure helps with that stress. Um, I think another thing is I feel like I get hyper when I'm tired.
Hmm.
It's an interesting thing, right? When I can't sit still, when I'm talking quickly, when I don't, yeah, wanted to sit still, and I'm like moving around a lot, is when it's probably a sign where I'm probably tired because I can't focus, right? So when you see me fidgeting a lot, when you see me talking very quickly, like Devon, you okay?
I
You
may
need a
know
nap?
I may know a scientific reason on why that happens.
Yeah, break it
I don't
down.
know that I want to. Oh,
Oh,
okay. I mean, if you want me to go into it, but like we have two hormones in our body. We have a
mm.
lot of hormones in our bodies.
There's only two. Remember, you heard it here, folks. You have two hormones.
But we have two hormones that kind of manage the like whether we're in that fight and flight mode or rest and digest mode.
It's cortisol, one of them.
Yes, it is. Good job, babe. That's like the fight or flight hormone. That's what
Mhm.
our body releases when we're in those stress moments. Um, Now, because that hormone is meant to get us out of danger, because that's when we think of stress, it's usually our body is used to like a dangerous situation.
Mm.
It comes with mental acuity because you want to be able to think clearly and act quickly if you are in danger. You don't
Mhm.
want a scrambled brain when you're in danger because you need to be able to make a quick decision, right?
Mhm.
And so that comes with high cortisol levels. However, when that has been happening over a period of time, the cortisol basically runs out. You can think of
Mhm.
it like a bank account. You've been pulling from it a lot because it's a stress time, but now you don't have much cortisol left.
Mhm.
And so what you may have left is another hormone called DHEA. And so if you still have healthy DHEA levels, which is like the anabolic hormone or the hormone that comes back and like builds the damage that is done by cortisol,
Mhm.
but it also comes with, if you think about anabolic, it builds you up. It also comes with feelings of anxiety, feelings of like I can't calm down.
Mhm.
So that could be what's happening to you is you normally have higher levels of cortisol, so there's more of a balance between the hormones. Whereas if you've been feeling that stress for a long period of time, so like for this whole week, right, you've been going, 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 going. By the
Yep.
time you get to the end of the week, your cortisol bank account might be basically out. And
Mhm.
so if you only have DHEA left, that's where that like
Yep.
feelings of like, oh, I'm wired, but you're tired because again, cortisol is an energy currency. So
Mhm.
that may be why you feel tired, but you also feel wired up because DHEA is still in there trying to rebuild back all this damage.
Yep.
But yeah, it does lead to those like types of
Yep. That's
feelings.
exactly how I feel. I do like I'll have a elevated heart rate a little bit, and
Yeah.
like I'll feel like, man, okay, I'm a little anxious right now. I feel like I need to be moving right now.
Yep.
Um, which is why I don't drink coffee because I'm already workaholic. I'm already kind of a hyper person. So yeah, if I had caffeine in the mix of that, danger, danger for me. But yeah, I feel like those are the two signs for me. You have another one before we go into maybe some self-care techniques and our experience at the self-care palace that we went to the other day?
I find myself getting distracted very easily.
Mm.
Again, with just not being able to control my thoughts, I become a little bit less productive because I can have my to-do list, but somehow I'm over here spending 30 minutes looking at shoes.
Listen, mine is real estate. It like because it feels productive.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, oh, I'm on Redfin or I'm on Crexy, I'm on Loop. I'm going through liking stuff, going through stuff, and it feels so productive to me. And I'll look up and I would have done a whole hour of scrolling through real estate.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what was the purpose of that, Devon? Do something else.
Right.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Do you think?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. It can be things like we're going on the trip in March. Like it can be, ooh, let me just look at all these excursions, knowing that I'm not gonna actually book anything right now. So it's not like I'm not actually being productive, but it's just like, oh yeah, well, we need to pick these. So let me just go and dive into a hole. And that's exactly what happens. So yeah.
What is that called? I'm trying to think of what that's called, but where I definitely know I'm getting tired, and this happens to me when I wake up at 4:50, but maybe I didn't get the best sleep. And instead of going right to my routine, I will go to my phone to get some pleasure points or dopamine. Right? I'll go to Instagram, I'll go to Redfin, I'll go to YouTube Shorts, I'll go to something that stimulates my brain in a way, but it's not necessarily work. But when I get good sleep, I'll wake up, I'll write down my to-do list, I'll go my stretching, I'll do my 100 push-ups, I'll start reading, I'll start writing, and then I'll start working. If I get bad sleep, I wake up and go right to distractions.
I feel like because your body knows, or sleep is what helps rejuvenate us, right? So that we can wake up and have good energy, kind of restores our energy reserves. So if we don't get good sleep, our body is going to wake up wanting energy from something. So whether it's triggering like, okay, let me grab my phone and get those quick dopamine, right? Or sometimes you get hungrier. If you notice, you get hungrier earlier on the days you don't sleep because your body starts to release the hunger hormones, ghrelin. It starts ghrelin. Yeah. It starts to release more ghrelin because it's like, okay, well, we didn't get good sleep, so we need energy from someplace. Quick, give us some food, right? And sometimes you also want to go for like those really carby things because it's quick energy. But yes, as to your point, it doesn't work usually because it's followed by a crash or like the phone, right? It's unproductive, so it's not like it worked. That dopamine will come down at some point and you're just gonna be looking for another hit. So I feel like it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't work. But that is why I think the psychology of what brings us to do those things that just give us a quick energy burst.
Yep. Let us know, folks that are listening, folks that are watching, what are signs that you are tired? What are signs that maybe you didn't know it until today, but you wake up and you do something because you didn't get good sleep, or you're halfway through the day and you go to do a certain action or a certain habit because you know you're tired? Go ahead and put that in the comments. But I do want to shift us and talk about self-care, Sinclair. This is something that I know you're a huge fan of. You've been excited about and championing for years. I've been tiptoeing around self-care, but we just went on our first, as a couple, spa day, complete self-care day. Well, not maybe complete, but from like 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m. So, it was a good full day. Talk to the people about our first spa day experience, where we went, and some of the things that we got to experience.
Yeah, so we went to Glen Ivy Hot Springs over in Corona, and it is a whole like oasis. It's super removed from like any type of like city or even like suburban area. It's covered by greenery and trees. So there were several times where we looked up and like we could literally be anywhere in the world right now.
Literally.
Right. And we've gone to hot springs in Costa Rica. So it's like this is giving a very
small flex.
So it's giving a very like I'm in the Caribbean or I'm somewhere other than Corona, California type of vibe. And so yeah, it was really cool. They have a bunch of different pools that have different mineral pools that have different healing benefits. So they have like the sulfur pool. I'm not gonna lie to you, does not smell good. It stinks. It smells like rotten eggs. But it's supposed to be really good for you. Don't ask me what it was. I don't remember any of the benefits at this point anymore. I remember there was a saline pool, so got lots of electrolytes in the water. The salt helped rejuvenate the body. There was a mineral pool. I don't think we ever ended up going in that one. And then they have like hot and cold pools, so you can go in the hot and go back to the cold, and so it's like hot cold therapy. which is also supposed to be really good for the body. They have a mud area, so you go in and you get this really good feeling mud. Like I felt like a child, like wanting to play with it, like Play-Doh. But you go and you rub it all on your body, and you go into the sauna, you let it dry, and then you like basically rub it off of your body, exfoliate, off of your body, and then rinse it off. And
my number one thing about, well, first off, I want to say huge shout out to Miss Lopez. She's the one that got us into Glen Ivy. Much love to the queen. But I got a problem with the mud folks because they don't warn you that if you have melanated skin and you do this whole mud treatment, you're gonna be ashy immediately after. So, I just want to give that fair warning to all my melanated folks, melanated married millionaires in the making who may go to Glen Ivy. If you do the clay mud thing, you will be ashy immediately after. It was bad. I mean, you can get back in the water and maybe that will solve a little bit of it. But what we did was we ended up getting a massage after, which solved it for us. But, just be strategic.
And then there's a whole spa where you can get a bunch of different kinds of massages. We did the Himalayan salt stone massage, so it's literally if you've ever done like hot stones at a spa, it's the same thing, but the stones are made of Himalayan salt, and so they're like little flat like rocks, and so they warm them up and they actually use that on you, like on your back, on your legs.
Highly recommend.
It was super nice. They've got like regular massages, aromatherapy massages. They've got one where you get like hot oil dripped on your pineal gland.
Yep. Looks like torture to me, but I'll see what happens when Sinclair does it.
I'm very intrigued by that one. And then they give you a head massage or a scalp massage on top of that. So I'm looking forward to trying all of these massages.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do want to say also we saw Michelle randomly there as well. I was like, oh, hey Michelle. And it was cool for us to be walking around as a melanated married couple around the spa. We saw a few other Black folks too, which was beautiful. But I feel like it was a true M4 experience. Right, to be there with my queen, walk around these spa treatments, and just taking care of ourselves. I put my phone in the locker. Right, I was gonna bring my phone so I can vlog it and I can show all you all, but I feel like I do a bad job at not being in the moment enough because I'm trying to capture so much content. So I was just like, you know what, phone in the locker. I'm just going to be in these saline pools. I'm just gonna be in this mud, just be in this sauna with my queen, and just have a good time. And it felt really recharging and relaxing.
That was it. And it was probably really good timing going into this next week that we had. So yeah, that was good. We'll definitely have to go back.
Oh yeah. And the next day, right? Because we were feeling tired. But the next day I felt so recharged. And I don't know if it was the saline. I don't know if it was the Himalayan. I don't know if it was the mud. I don't know if it was that a beautiful sulfur. I don't know what it was. But the next day I felt focused. I felt rested. We also did fall asleep much earlier than usual.
Went home and knocked out.
But I definitely want to make that a routine. And also to my men, come here. Let me talk to the king specifically, right? I think sometimes, especially for me, like you think, I'm not going to a spa, it's for women. I'm not going to a spa, I'm a man's man, all that. Yeah, I hear you, king. Like I hear what you're saying, G. Go right. I hear what you're saying, but go ahead, take yourself to the spa, go with your partner, go with your queen. Your body needs it, right? I feel like we walk around with so much pride all the time, and all that weight is on your shoulders. And eventually you need somebody to help relieve your weight, relieve that shoulders and rejuvenate your back so that you can put the weight back on you and continue to go. There's been way too many of my mentors who have passed away early because they grind, and they don't take the intentional times off. So, we're taking obviously the March trip. That's going to be a beautiful intentional time off, but I think probably a solid 2 times a year, a whole day at Glen Ivy. Now, I don't know what it costs if we don't come with Queen Lopez, but I think Miss Lopez is willing to bring us. We said on the podcast, Lopez, it has to happen. But I don't know what it costs to go without a member, but hopefully Miss Lopez will hook us up twice a year.
I mean, it's just like an admissions fee on top of the treatments and stuff, but it's worth it.
Invest in yourself, y'all. Invest in yourself. Okay, Queen, anything else on self-care?
No.
All right, if y'all have a self-care regimen, go ahead and put what do you do, whether it's once a week, daily, month, quarterly. What do you do to take care of yourself to recharge? Do you go to the spa? Do you turn off your phone and put it on airplane mode and don't text anybody back? Do you go camping? What is it that you do to recharge? All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we got to ask Declare. The question, Sinclair, is what is more important, the hustle or self-care? Think about it. Look, we're going to get right back into the amazing podcast. But if you didn't know, in 2017, we created Black Wall Street, the board game, because we thought more families needed to know about the history of Tulsa Black Wall Street. More families needed to know about the legacy of Black excellence left behind of Tulsa Black Wall Street, that we can own a Madam C.J. Walker Beauty Salon. We can have a Booker T. Washington High School. We can have an Uncle Steve's Barbecue. We can have a Renaissance man like Simon Berry, who had his own taxi service and bus service that got bought out by the city of Tulsa. We have brilliance in our DNA. We wanted to make sure that your family can play a game that teaches them about this brilliance. So we have Black Wall Street, the board game, right here. We had the first edition available in 2017. That got sold out. We're on the second edition right now, or you can get the beautiful masterpiece version of the game as well. It's up to you. Head to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself Black Wall Street, the board game, to empower you, your family, and generations to come. Playblackwallstreet.com. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah. Are we eating after this?
I might throw. I need to finish making all this stuff, but I might throw in some scrambled eggs and spinach just to get something.
Okay.
Yeah, we went all. Speaking of self-care, we need to do a better job of taking care of ourselves on these days where we have long days, because we shared a little granola bar that was about that big in the morning on the way there, and we didn't eat again until like 5 o'clock. Yeah, so I was starving, and that was the only meal we ate yesterday, and so we still haven't eaten today. I need to do better. I'm trying to eat more often. You can fast if you want to.
Fasting. Kendrick Lamar says he fasts 4 times a week. He's the second best rapper of all time, according to Billboard. So
it definitely treats men differently than women. So
yeah,
I need to be eating more often. So I'm going to eat something when I go downstairs.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, if you're eating, I'm not going to let you eat by yourself, obviously. Okay. But the question, right, for the Ask Declare segment, Queen, is what is more important, the hustle or the self-care?
You know, I don't like these questions because there's no one without the other. What does it mean? Yeah, so I don't
want me to answer first?
Sure. I know your answer, but
you think
ahead.
about it. The hustle. The hustle is more important because in my head, the hustle allows you the opportunity to even do the self-care, right? If I wasn't hustling with my 9 to 5 and doing like above and beyond stuff, Ms. Lopez wouldn't even got us into Glen Ivy, right? If we weren't hustling and trying to do all this Play Black Wall Street stuff, we may not be able to afford to go and take a whole month off of work and 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship in March. So I feel like the hustle is kind of like the precursor to self-care. Now, I definitely say I think we could have done a better job at sprinkling in some self-care throughout these years. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to choose one to prioritize at the early stages, I'm going to prioritize the hustle so that I can have the cushion to do self-care on a more regular basis afterwards.
For the sake of a good argument, I'll go with self-care. Like I said, I hate these types of one or the other because they exist together for a reason. But I think if you're not taking care of yourself, you are not going to have the time and energy or anything to hustle. So I think it is a prerequisite. I feel like you had now, could you have done a better job? Yes, but I think you had taken some type of care of yourself before starting this hustle and grind, because otherwise you don't have any energy to do so. So I feel like, I guess when I think of self-care, I think of like taking care of yourself, your health, your wealth, your wellness. That is a foundation to me for anything else that comes after it. If you are bedridden because you're sick, there's no hustle and grind to be had, right? You don't have the energy to get up and do anything. So I feel like it is a prerequisite to having any type of hustle and grind.
You know, I could see that argument. Y'all let us know what you think. What's more important, hustle or self-care? I can see it to where it's like, all right, you got to take some time to take care of yourself, to create the vision, to write things down, and then have the energy to hustle. Yeah, I kind of see that, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
But
didn't expect you to be.
yeah. But Queen, updates for the week. Any announcements or planned events you would like to share with the beautiful people listening?
Just that we talked about the LIT program, or the Leaders Innovating Tomorrow program. We are literally starting another cohort here in a couple of weeks. And we are also looking to expand. We're especially looking for interested schools in the Inland Empire, in the IE, Riverside, Corona, Moreno Valley, San Bernardino.
Come on.
So yeah, if you are at one of those schools, if you have a student at one of those schools, if you know somebody who works at one of those schools and would be interested in getting this program on their campus, please reach out to us at info@playblackwallstreet.com so we can start that conversation and see how we can help your scholars.
There it is. And of course, mine is a direct follow-up to it. But go ahead and go to playblackwallstreet.com. Get yourself the second edition of Black Wall Street, the board game, today. It is a family fun way of learning the history of Tulsa Black Wall Street and increasing the financial literacy of your familia, of your family. Go to playblackwallstreet.com. Get yourself the second edition of the game. Join our newsletter, which kind of happens automatically when you purchase a game. You'll start getting updates, invites to events, free courses, webinars. And we're also going to Tulsa this summer. So if you want that special invitation to come out with us to Tulsa Black Wall Street and learn about the history on the ground, touching the soil, supporting the businesses that are still there to this day, tap in with us. Go to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself a board game. Queen,
yes,
it's been a pleasure hosting this podcast with you as usual.
Always.
It's going to be a bigger pleasure eating some food with you. And then we have my birthday party tonight. Come on. If you don't know, I did officially turn the amazing, the beautiful, the melanated, the galactic, the powerful, the intentional 3-0.
The Dirty 30.
No. No, not Dirty 30. If you want to call yourself Dirty 30 when you turn 30 next year, that's fine. I am the intentional, powerful, galactic, millionaire in the making, 30 years old.
But it doesn't rhyme.
But it doesn't rhyme. You can't do it. Wow, what's a more positive something 30?
Nerdy 30?
Nerdy 30. Not mad at it. Not mad at it. All right, we're gonna think about that one. But we appreciate y'all. My name is Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
And I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all secure the marriage.
Oh, we're back.
I was like, are we TH4 again? Golly. We hope y'all secure the marriage. We hope y'all secure the love. And of course, we hope y'all secure the bag. Peace. Thank you for supporting the M4 show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.